What up, world? Yo, it's November. It's movie talk, man. Um, there was quite a bit of options this month, man. I could have done Christopher Nolan. Interstellar came out. I could have done Disney movies for Big Hero 6. I could have done Jennifer Lawrence because of Hunger Games. Man, Jason Bateman, Kevin Spacey because of Horrible Bosses. I could have done my top 10 DreamWorks movies because Penguins of Madagascar came out. And when Home comes out in March, I might do that, my top 10 DreamWorks. But Dumb and Dumber 2 came out, man. And I landed on Jim Carrey, one of the funniest actors over the past 20 years. So before I jump into this list, man, I gotta shout out Batman Forever. It didn't make the list, it didn't even come close. But when I was 10 years old, it came out when I was 9. So around the time I was 10 years old, this movie was my shit. Jim Carrey played the Riddler. You see the hood. You see the hood. And man, he owned that movie. He stole like every scene he was in. While he was the Riddler, I thought he was crazy. I thought he was funny. I thought that he was a good villain when I was 10 years old. That little function that Two-Face ambushed, and then like the debut of Robin unofficially. When Jim Carrey's trying to like mimic every movement, every mannerism, every trait of Bruce Wayne, I thought that shit was funny as hell. And then even before he's the Riddler, man, like how obsessed he is. He was Jamie Foxx's Electro, like damn near 20 years in advance. And then that light up jacket he had was so dope. And then around the end, it started to get weird. He started to get weird as a character. But too many questions. There's just too many questions. And then Joe Schumacher directed that shit. It was getting a little weird. That's all I'll say, man. At number 10, I got like probably the most popular movie that Jim Carrey did last year, which is Kick-Ass 2. He played Colonel Stars and Stripes. And once again, he stole the scenes he was in. He wasn't in it as near as much as I would have liked him to be, but he stole that shit he was in. That part where they're ambushing them villains. He's like, yeah, you got a dog on your balls. Like that shit. Like Kick-Ass 2 was already a good movie, but Jim Carrey made it better. And the only reason it's even this low on my list is because right before it came out, man, he came out and basically he didn't do any promotion for this movie. He didn't advertise for it for shit. No press, none of that, because just because he come out and like spoke out against the violence that was in it because of like some tragedies that happened in the real world. Like I ain't mad at him for that, but he basically disowned the movie. So at number 9, I got Bruce Almighty. And like Jim Carrey has so much heat that I feel like it's a crime that Bruce Almighty is this low anyway. Everything, like he's a news anchor. He gets passed over for a promotion, I think by Steve Carell, and then he's married or he's dating. He's involved with Jennifer Aniston. Just for her being in it, man, the movie should be higher on the list. And then he like curses God or something like that. Then Morgan Freeman comes down as God and gives him like the power of God just to see how hard it is to to be God, you know what I'm saying? And just the comedy kicks in from there, man. I mean, before he gets the powers, the little middle finger flute to Steve Carell, that shit was funny. He made the monkey come out of the guy's butt. That was funny. Just all those emails he was getting. How he made Jennifer Aniston titties bigger. Yeah, like Bruce. Just thinking about it, man. Bruce Almighty is making me laugh. At number 8, I got Me, Myself, and Irene, the second movie that Jim Carrey did with the Farrelly brothers. And he's like a Rhode Island state trooper or something like that. And then he goes through so much that he develops a split personality. He becomes schizophrenic. And like him, Jim Carrey's character, originally he's just like a real calm pushover basically. And then his other personality is fucking gangster. He don't take no shit. And there was that one scene where he asked Renee Zellweger's character why he's peeing like he was up all night having sex or some shit like that. and he shoved a dildo up his own ass because he knew he'd wake up and he'd be a different personality. I mean, if you haven't seen that one, you got to check it out, man. It's like it's one of the Farrelly brothers' like last real gems, in my opinion, man. It's also got Chris Cooper in it, like I said, Renee Zellweger. Gosh, who else is in this movie? Anthony Anderson, like a real young Anthony Anderson, is in it. Um, and there's a part like he has kids. Like, in case you haven't seen it, it's like a 14, 15-year-old movie. In case you haven't seen it, I ain't gonna give too much away. But he got some kids, and when they're young, he's sitting there watching like a Richard Pryor comedy hour, and then they grow up, and then they're watching Chris Rock, and how Chris Rock was a little more vulgar than Richard Pryor as displayed in the movie. It's funny his reaction compared to they're just laughing their ass off. At number 7, I got Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls. Throw a little pause in there, throw y'all for a loop right quick. Once again, another one that I just can't believe it's so low on the list, man. This might not even be on some people's list, but I thought this movie was funny as hell. How they like start off with the cliffhanger parody, and he goes into hiding, and he's like with some monks trying to find his inner peace or whatever, and then the bat gets stolen. He's scared of bats. That makes it funny. And the Monopoly guy bit, the Chicago, and how he see every time they say Chicago, like the tribes people have to bow, and he says like, I forget what he says something. Then he says Shawshank Redemption. Then he says Chicago, but he's like the way he says it, they bow. That was funny, and just the Bumblebee tuna, the fight with Tommy Davidson. I could go on forever, man. This movie's so funny, but I think it bombed, man, and that's why it took him like 20 years to do another sequel. He passed on sequels to The Mask. He passed on sequels to Dumb and Dumber before this one. I know they offered him a Dumb and Dumber sequel, like probably around the time they did Dumb and Dumber. And let's not even bring up that travesty. At number 6, man, The Mask. This was like the second movie, man. Like the original Ace Ventura came out in February. The Mask come out in summer. I want to say July. And then Dumb and Dumber came out in December, all the same year. Jim Carrey took Hollywood and the world in general by storm. And like The Mask, man, is based on a comic book. It has to do with like Loki and Odin. I don't think it has anything to do with the Marvel characters, but like though the names are mentioned. Ben Stein plays like a scientist, a researcher, or something like that. The first movie Cameron Diaz was ever in, probably her most attractive role by far. Peter Green plays the villain, and he plays a putz, man, but like he's got this like this sense of humor, like it's Jim Carrey. He's watching cartoons and shit, and that's how he becomes like you become your inner self, who you really meant to be when you put the mask on. And the dog wears the mask, the bad guy wears the mask, man. The Mask is highly underrated, man. At number 5, my girl's gonna kill me for this, cause this is her favorite Jim Carrey movie. At number 5, I got The Cable Guy. The Cable Guy doesn't get his due, man. The Cable Guy is one of his most underappreciated movies, man. I remember I was 10 years old when The Cable Guy came out. I remember seeing it on the news or something. Like, he was the highest paid actor at the time this came out, but it came out to shitty reviews. Like, the second or third movie Ben Stiller ever directed. He's got a cameo in it. Jack Black is in it. Owen Wilson is in it. But, like, the leads are Jim Carrey plays the Cable Guy. Matthew Broderick plays like the guy that is basically being stalked by Jim Carrey, and Leslie Mann plays his on again, off again girlfriend. And this was like the first time we ever saw Jim Carrey like go real dark, but still be funny. And like he developed a lisp, and that scene in the gym with Jack Black. Hey Rick, I've never made a slam dunk before. Thanks for the boost. Like this shit. Oh man, that shit was so funny. And just all the references, man, like GoldenEye, My Three Sons, Gilligan's Island, I Love Lucy, and like I wouldn't really say like 100%. I can relate to Jim Carrey's character in a sense that I watch so much TV that I might as well have been raised by the motherfucker. Man, that's why I love the Cable Guy, man. And then Matthew Broderick, man, Ferris Bueller, 10 years later, exactly. Like he killed it too. Like all the performances was dope to me. At number 4, I got the Truman Show. Man, like grab y'all like fucking grab y'all pitchforks and burning bushes and shit and come set my crib and movie collection ablaze, man. Because I'm sure this is a lot of people's favorite Jim Carrey movie, but it's not, man. Like I love Jim Carrey for comedy, and like while this is comedic, it's a bit of a drama, and but this is where like you saw that Jim Carrey could really act, and like his whole life was a reality show before that shit became popular, and like everybody he knows and everybody he thinks is like caring about him is just a paid actor, and Ed Harris, he killed it as the guy running the show. The chick from Californication is like one of his old girls who got cut loose from the show and like tried to tell him it was all a facade and shit. And then Laura Linney plays his wife. Like the Truman Show is really really dope. At number 3, I got a movie that could easily be my number 1, and that's Liar Liar. Like man, like Liar Liar is so funny. At the time, I was like 11, and like I went along with it, and now like I think a little more rationally, just a little more rationally, and like how far fetched this shit is. Like he's a lawyer, he lies his way into winning every single case, and then he lies to his son. His son makes the wish. I wish for dad. I wish dad couldn't tell a lie for a whole day. And then he literally can't lie. He tells the judge this shit. He can't get a continuance. And then he has to find other ways to win. And then he grows a conscience in the process. Carrie Elways is in it. What's his wife's name? Audrey! Maura Tierney plays his wife. And for an older chick, man, she was pretty attractive. The chick from I don't know her name. I ain't even gonna try to stress trying to think of her name, man. The chick in the elevator, that shit was funny. Tiffany from Bride of Chucky, man. Jennifer Tilly, like she plays the chick that he's representing in a divorce case, and she's cheating with the dude. And what he say? He said, he said you stuffed her like a Thanksgiving turkey, and then he started jumping up and down, man. And then the gag reel during the credits, man. I could talk about this movie all day, man. I love Liar Liar. He like he writes blue all over his face, man. He's trying to like not get his jaw to work, and then he beats his own ass in the bathroom. He said, "I'm kicking my ass. Do you mind?" Oh man, yeah, I love this movie, man. I might watch Liar Liar after I finish recording this video, man. At number 2, I got the original Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, and just another like this was when Jim Carrey burst on the scene, man. So how he whooped the dude's ass in the police station, put him face to face with a dead cockroach. Tone Loc, man. I come up with a line in one of my raps way long ago. I said all these rappers talking out their ass like Ace Ventura, because he bent over next to Tone Loc and just started talking out of his ass. "Excuse me, do you mind if I ask you a few questions?" I know I don't sound like nothing like Jim Carrey, but I got a code for one, and y'all got to give me an A for effort. Man, like the Miami Dolphins, Dan Marino was in this shit. He's the Shark Tank. That's not Snowflake. That's not Snowflake. Courtney Cox. What's her name? Sean Young. He said, "Finkel, Einhorn, Finkel, Einhorn, Finkel." And he's Finkel and Einhorn and Finkel. There's another comedy classic, man. If y'all young kids haven't seen some of these movies, man, y'all gotta check them out. What he say? He found Captain Winky. Um, oh man, like, this is another one, man. Like I could make this video. I could make this video 45 minutes long just by talking about all these fucking movies, man. I love them. But number one, man, my number one. Like, what is The Grinch? Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind? Mr. Popper's Penguins? Nah, man, none of those. It's the most obvious movie, man. The original Dumb and Dumber. Like, this movie is so underrated, man. The Farrelly Brothers' very first movie, back when their comedy actually worked. Um, it was just so stupid, and it was like they were grown men. Like that's the problem with Dumb and Dumber 2. They tried to make them like 10-year-olds, just like in an adult body or some shit. But Dumb and Dumber, like they were grown men, and they just like didn't comprehend shit. And the way like he sold the Mutt Cuts van for that moped, and Jeff Daniels was like, he said, "How could you be so stupid and then completely redeem yourself?" And like yeah, like Jeff Daniels, man, Lauren Holly, man, Jim Carrey wifed up Lauren Holly right after this movie. Um, and then how they killed the birds, man, those suits, the IOUs. He said that's just as good as cash. The dead bird, man, the whole interaction with the laxative. And he fucking how he jumped out the terminal. He said, "It's okay. I'm a limo driver." Like that shit mattered. In my opinion, man, like the first Dumb and Dumber is perfect. I love it, man. Fuck, dude's name is Lloyd Christmas. He's talking about bad drivers not watching the road, and he caused all that destruction. Um, he said, uh, what I can't remember the line exactly. He said that's an intoxicating accent you have. He said, we said New Jersey. She said Austria, and he took it as Australia. Like that type of shit. Like that shit seems so effortless in the first one that they didn't even try to do any shit like that in the new one. They just recycled shit that worked from the first one, and that's where, in my opinion, Dumb and Dumber 2 failed. Man, it was just lazy. So that's my list. I wanna know y'all favorite, y'all top five. It doesn't matter. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Lemony Snicket's, Fun with Dick and Jane, the number 23. Um, I don't know, man. The Majestic. The only reason Man on the Moon didn't make my list is because I've seen it one time, so I don't really remember it as well as I wanted to. But if I had like knew it word for word because of the dedication he put into playing Andy Kaufman, and then yeah, it could have been on the list. Uh, like, I can't wait to see what he does in the future, man. Like I hope like more like real comedy, and if he does a sequel to The Mask finally, a legit Bruce Almighty sequel, I hope it's an original story and not just recycled jokes from the first movie. December, man. Like I got a few options for December. Honestly, I could do Christian Bale because of Exodus, Gods and Kings, but y'all know three Batman movies are gonna make that list. I could do Ben Stiller because of Night at the Museum 3. I could do I could do Ridley Scott because of Exodus, Gods and Kings. I could do Seth Rogen because of The Interview. Once I decide, man, I'll keep y'all posted. I hope y'all enjoy this shit. And y'all know where I'll be at, man. Peace.